Hello, Parkville, Carney. Welcome back to episode 4 of Local Business Spotlight. It's Friday, May 15th, a bright, sunny, warm Friday for a change. And here on Local Business Spotlight, we highlight local business owners and members of the PCBA and how they're transitioning in the face of the ongoing pandemic. My guest today is our newest member, Ryan Nawrocki with CBD Supply Maryland. How's it going, Ryan?
It's going great, Chris. Thanks for having us. We are super excited to be here with you. We're very excited to be new members of the organization.
Absolutely. And we're glad to have you. I know that you have not been shut down during all of this because you sell healthcare products, and I know you're selling things like N95 masks. So you've been able to operate and remain mostly functional. So that's always a positive thing. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from the area originally?
Yeah. So actually, I grew up right in Parkville, right off of Taylor Avenue, kind of right by the Hillcrest Swim Club. So I'm definitely from the area originally. I've moved a little bit further east. Now I live kind of over towards the Middle River area with my family now, and have been, in eastern or northeastern Baltimore County my entire life. So definitely have deep roots inside of the community.
Fantastic. And how long have you, I know CBD Supply Maryland is a relatively new venture. How long have you been open? How long have you been in business?
Yeah, so we've been open since January. Opened up right in the beginning of January. Was fantastic for the first 2 months, but hey, what a time to open a new business right when some global pandemic decides to strike. Like you said, we've been fortunate in that we could remain open. That doesn't necessarily mean though that we haven't felt an impact as well. Certainly, folks are not as able to travel, so there's not as many people coming out. There are definitely people that are afraid just to kind of be exposed, and I totally understand that. We've also kind of felt some of the effects of kind of the economic situation that's resulted from this as well.
Yeah, let's tell folks real quick where you're located. You are on Bel Air Road, sort of really more in like the overly, I guess technically it's Nottingham, 21236, Bel Air Beltway Plaza, right there, Bel Air Road near the Beltway and Carrabba's and all that fun stuff. So
yes,
how has that location fared for you?
It's been fantastic. The shopping center, we specifically chose that location because of one, the proximity to 695, and also it has a very large medical facility in the shopping center. It has the Mercy Medical Center there with, I believe it's around 70 doctors in that facility. So for a business like ours that is in the healthcare space, it kind of made sense to be in a facility that has a large doctor's office. We have some other physical therapists, a chiropractor, things like that inside of that shopping center. That just made a lot of sense to have that synergy with our business model all to be together and to be in a convenient spot right off of 695 there.
Sure, that's definitely a high traffic area, so I imagine there's a lot of potential there. Tell us just the basics about CBD. I think I know a lot of folks probably have a bit of a misconception when they hear about CBD. Tell us a little bit about what that is and what types of products you offer there at CBD Supply Maryland.
Absolutely, and you're right. There are definitely misconceptions, or maybe some folks that are curious but don't really know what CBD is. So all of our products are hemp-based products, and that's important to remember for a couple reasons. A lot of folks think that hemp is the same thing as marijuana, and it's not.
Right.
So it's both a different plant biologically. It's also a different plant legally defined. And so from a legal perspective, a couple years back, the federal government and the state government in Maryland made hemp 100% illegal. And so the difference between hemp and marijuana is that hemp doesn't have THC in it. THC is the element inside of marijuana that gets you high. That kind of that mental high. Hemp does not have that. What it does have is very high amounts of CBD. CBD is an acronym. It stands for cannabidiol. Right. There are things inside of a hemp plant that are called cannabinoids. There's actually 113 of them. CBD is one of those 113 cannabinoids inside of the plant.
Okay.
And it has various properties. His studies have shown that it is good for anti-inflammation, anti-pain, anti-anxiety. In fact, the FDA has recently approved a drug that is CBD based. It's called Epidiolex. That is an epilepsy drug. So there's a lot of research going on about CBD right now, and a whole host of directions. And now that scientists and doctors are able to really kind of dive into it, now that it's fully legal, they really can kind of explore all the medical potential for CBD.
Gotcha. So there's a lot of different uses that people may not think of right off the top of their heads. So I guess one thing that some folks might be concerned about, and I know we've talked about this before, if someone takes a CBD product, would it show up on a drug test?
So the answer is yes and no. So it really depends on what kind of drug test we're talking about, right? So there's two different schools of thoughts with drug testing. There's kind of the old regimen of drug testing, which hemp is a cannabis plant. It is in the same family as marijuana, right? So traditional drug tests looked only for cannabis. They did not look for THC levels. THC is, again, it's that important element inside of marijuana that gets you high. They were just because it's cheaper to do it this way, just to look for a cannabis plant. So if it's an old style test, it could show up positive because it is a cannabis plant. If it is the more modern sort of testing regimen that many companies and the federal government and things like that are going to, it won't, because they're looking for THC levels. They're looking to see if this is in fact hemp or if it is in fact a marijuana-based product. So it really depends on what kind of test it is. It's kind of along the lines of, I'm sure you've heard, be careful with eating poppy seeds before you go for a drug test.
Absolutely.
Same kind of concept. I mean, poppy is from a poppy plant, which, poppies are how you derive opioids and things like that. So theoretically, if you had, a bagel with poppy seeds on it, you could test positive for an opioid. Doesn't mean that you're actually taking an opioid. It's kind of the same logic here with this product as well.
Sure. And we've talked about this before. You sell both types of products, right? Some that may show up on a test and some that, 99% won't show up on it. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's a good point, Chris. So there are two different types of products, CBD products, that exist. The federal law says, defines hemp as a product that has 0.3% or less THC in the product.
Okay.
And so 0.3% is not enough to get you high. That would be a full spectrum product. That's where they're using the entire plant, and there is a trace amount of THC in that product. I think about that like an O'Doul's non-alcoholic beer. If you've ever looked at the label on an O'Doul's, it actually does have a trace amount of alcohol inside of it.
Absolutely right.
Same kind of concept here. We do have products though that are called CBD isolates. And what that product is, it is literally, it has an extra layer of filtration that removes that very trace amount, that 0.3% or less THC. So there is no THC in the product, and it is just CBD. So for some folks that are concerned, say they have a security clearance or something like that, and they're really concerned, they want to make sure that nothing were to show up at all on any kind of test. That is an alternative, and it's a product that exists out there to kind of, make sure that there's no concerns for you with THC whatsoever.
Sure. And you sell products not only for humans, but also pet products as well, right? I know I've seen some dog treats that, that you have there in the shop.
Absolutely. So any animal that has a spine has something inside of your body called an endocannabinoid system. Right. That's how CBD works, not only in people, but also in dogs and cats. And I've even heard about people using this for other animals like birds and things like that as well. I haven't sold it for anybody for a bird yet, but I have read about it out on the internet. So any animal that has a spine, this product can be helpful for again, like if your dog has, like I had a lab that got a little bit older, got the hip dysplasia where it was having a lot of the rear pain in its hips. We sell a lot of pet treats that have CBD and glucosamine inside of it for dogs like that. There's also products that are helping to calm pets, CBD, it does have sort of an anti-anxiety effect, and that anti-anxiety effect works not only for people, but it also works for dogs and cats as well. So there are people that will utilize that to kind of help calm their dog down if they know it's going to be a time where, I don't know, like around 4th of July, for instance, where you might have a lot of fireworks and their dog is really nervous. They might give them some CBD to help them calm down from that.
Maybe not so much this year, but right.
Right. Maybe not this year. Exactly.
So good folks for you are people that are maybe dealing with pain, anxiety, maybe arthritis, having trouble sleeping, those types of things. Absolutely.
So, we did an interview a couple weeks back with the Avenue News, and we got this same question posed, and the answer is it really spans the gamut of who it could be, right? I mean, it could be folks that are dealing with pain, inflammation, anxiety. We have topical products that CBD has an anti-inflammatory effect. So if you have skin issues like eczema, things like that, there are topical products that work for that. But it's funny, our customers are, I mean, it really runs the gamut of young, old, male, female, African-American, white, rich, poor. I mean, it's all over the map. And that's really because, conditions like pain and inflammation, they're universal conditions that anybody could potentially be, suffering from.
Sure. So since the onset of the pandemic, how have you pivoted or transitioned? I know that, you were focusing on obviously walk-in traffic, but you were obviously, here's the website, cbdsupplymaryland.com. You're obviously, you mentioned that you were kind of, polishing up the website to attract traffic from, around the country. So you could also do shipping and that sort of thing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So a couple things that we did in this process, and we were going to do these anyway, but the pandemic forced us to kind of expedite some of these processes because we were a brand new company.
Right.
So we launched an online space, an e-commerce space. We have the ability now, and we've done a fair amount of business recently online. We've got the ability to kind of ship any of our products anywhere. We just shipped something out to California the other day, for instance.
Oh, wow.
So people are finding us from all over the map, that way. So we've been working really hard to kind of increase our web presence. We are still, we're still open in a brick and mortar traditional setting there. Although, of course, we're adhering to all the guidelines of social distancing, face masks, that sort of thing. But we've also pivoted to some of the product offerings that we have now. As you pointed out, I mean, we are offering PPE inside of the store. So we have KN95 masks, we have surgical masks. We have various types of hand sanitizer in the store. We wanted to offer those not because we're, getting rich off of those supplies. We're really not marking them up much over what we're getting them for. But we thought it was the right thing to do to kind of allow, members of the community to have access to some of those things. I mean, as you know, like you go around some of the stores, it's still very hard to find certain types of face masks.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So it was just our way to kind of.
You still even now have a supply of the KN95 masks?
Yes, we have a supply of KN95 masks, surgical masks, and hand sanitizer as well in the store right now. Or could be ordered online as well, and we'll ship it. We've been doing a lot of shipping of masks, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Those have been a pretty hot commodity here recently.
Sure.
I mean, so we pivoted our model a little bit in terms of what we offer. We're still offering, of course, a full gamut of CBD products.
Right.
But we brought some other things in that weren't necessarily traditional to where I would have thought the business would be. I mean, if you had asked me 4 months ago, would I have been selling, KN95 masks in the business? I would have said, heck no, that sounds crazy. But you gotta adapt to what the situation is at hand.
Yeah, and it's not, and it's not just your typical CBD products. I stopped in before Mother's Day at your shop and got my wife a bar of like CBD infused soap and a CBD infused bath bomb and all kinds of fun stuff. So fantastic.
We've got bath and beauty products.
Right.
We've got gummies, which are very popular.
Oh yeah, right.
That's a different way that folks are able to consume CBD. We sell a lot of gummies and CBD
topical rubs and
exactly, all kinds of stuff.
Fantastic. All right, Ryan, tell us something that many folks may not know about you. A little known fact about Ryan Nawrocki.
Little known fact. One of the things I think that makes myself different, and I'll relate it back to this business model. I've had the ability to work inside of the CBD space, for 4 months here directly in the store. But something that's different about myself versus some other places that were out there is I worked on Capitol Hill for a number of years.
Oh, yeah.
I had the ability to author or help author. My boss was the one that ultimately put it in. One of the first pieces of legislation to legalize CBD.
Oh, outstanding. Yeah.
So back in about 2013, so it's getting to be a few years ago now.
Yeah.
We put the first piece of CBD legislation in that would legalize it. It didn't pass at the time. Most bills on Capitol Hill take a number of years to kind of work their way through. But in 2014, we did actually have a piece of legislation passed that was kind of a limited rollback that allowed some scientific research to occur on CBD. So that was kind of the first sort of opening of the door a little bit for CBD.
Sure, yeah.
That's something I'm pretty proud of. That's why I'm passionate about this space. I've gotten to travel out to Colorado and see this in action years ago and all that sort of stuff. So it's a little bit different than what some folks are doing inside of this industry. But it's something that I'm proud of to have had some small part in this sort of CBD revolution that's going on here.
Definitely. Well, fantastic, Ryan. We're glad that you've joined the Parkville Carney Business Association. We wish you lots of luck. Once again, CBD Supply Maryland, located on Bel Air Road in the Beltway Plaza Shopping Center, right near 695. And thanks for taking some time to be with us today, Ryan. And hopefully we'll talk to you soon. And maybe we'll see you at our Zoom networking meeting on Wednesday, the 27th at 5 p.m. Head out to our Facebook page and look under events. Make sure you sign up so we can send you the link. And we're going to give our try at this social distancing networking thing and see if we can pull it off. So thanks again, Ryan, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Chris.